When I give to a religious organization or charity, what's in it for me? Sitting in church, waiting for the praise team or sermon, what's in it for me? We would like to think that we would never ask such a question. However, none of us are immune from this self-evaluation. Even research suggests that this question is precisely what we ask ourselves when giving or asked to give. Here's a story that responds to the issue of what's in it for me. The first time I met Noah was in his small apartment home. He was sitting in his wheelchair and the furniture was arranged so he could easily move from room to room. Our visit was routine, but I couldn't help notice how positive he was. When something didn't go as planned, he would say, "Now, there you go, what you gonna do?" I didn't think much about the visit except for his one-liner. It was clever. But months passed before I heard from Noah again. But when I did, he asked me to come visit him. The next time I saw Noah was at a home for veterans. He was in his wheelchair by the front door waiting for me. This time he had a request. He said, "Let's go for a walk." It was a beautiful Iowa day. The green grass was freshly mowed. Shrubs and flower beds around the VA were well manicured. When we got to a bench beside the walkway, he stopped and said, "Please sit down." And then he got right to the point. "Would you take my money and do something good with it?" I hadn't expected that question, so I asked him, "What do you mean?" He said, "This is my home now. I can't drive anymore. I gave my van away. This wheelchair turned over when I ran off the sidewalk into the grass the other day, and they had to come pick me up, so I can only go certain places outside. I have a pacemaker, I have a weak heart, no control over body functions, and I have diabetes." He lifted up his arms to show me stiff, frozen hands. They give me a special spoon that I can wedge between my fingers so I can feed myself. Then he paused. "John, I have no relatives and I need someone I can trust to take care of my money. People try to take advantage of me. Would you take my money and do something good with it?" Then he seemed to relax and with a twinkle in his eye said, "Now, there you go. What you gonna do?" There was that phrase again I'd heard him say in his apartment. This time I paused. Sitting on the bench, thoughts were racing through my mind. Should I take the responsibility of doing what he asked or find someone else to help him? He sat there looking at me, waiting for an answer. All I can say is that he had me when he said, "Now, there you go. What you gonna do?" I said, "Noah, yes, I will help you to the best of my ability." He smiled, pushed the lever control on the wheelchair, and started back to the front door, and I followed. Noah didn't have a lot of money like some do, but his available cash was considerable. You would never have known his wealth by looking at the old man in a wheelchair. He had thousands of dollars saved and thousands of monthly income. It mounted up quickly. In the course of our friendship, I had to stand between him and those who wanted money on more than one occasion. The days went by quickly, and most of the time he was waiting for me at the front door, but then he was confined to his bed. I would tell him of tuition paid for young people to get a Christian education, about buying computers that were used in Africa by theology students, and even a bus to transport young people. In return, I sat in his room and listened to stories of his World War II experience on Sicily, and the story of his roommate, one of the first soldiers to storm the beach of Normandy and survive. I was in the presence of two heroes. I did many things with his money, and his eyes would sparkle when he heard the stories. Noah loved to hear about the young people. And then he would say, "Now, there you go. What you gonna do?" What obligated Noah to give? What benefit was in it for him? Hardly anyone knew him. He would never have his name on the side of a building or engraved on a brick in a sidewalk. His gifts of money benefited others, though, and he never heard them say thank you. I think his giving was from a converted life, a converted heart that produced a desire to help others. Noah got nothing in return but my stories describing how his money was used. He told me one day, "Give it all away." And that is exactly what I did. Many years have passed since I helped Noah, but he taught me that you don't need millions of dollars to be a Christian philanthropist. You need a heart to help. When I got ready to leave from our visits, he would always say, "Now, there you go. What you gonna do?" That question has forced me many times to examine my heart to see if I'm willing to help. Yes, others were benefited by Noah's gifts, but so was Noah. When Noah helped others with his money, his benefit was the satisfaction of knowing he made a difference in their life. Now it's your turn. There you go. What you gonna do?